Hello and welcome to the program. I am Deji Badimasi. A whopping $1 million minimum foreign equity with a registration fee of 31,500 cedis. That's how much Nigerian traders are allegedly required to pay under the Ghana Investment Promotion Council regulations. Recently, videos surfaced on social media showing Nigerian traders complaining of unfair treatment and forceful closure of their shops over failure to meet the requirements. In response, the Ghanaian authorities claim the traders refused to meet up with the deadline granted for proper documentation. But the Nigerian government has condemned this action, saying it may be forced to drag the Ghanaian authorities to the ECOWAS court if it's found to have breached ECOWAS protocols. But let's now hear from those directly involved. Chukwuemeka Naji is the president of the Nigerian Traders Union in Ghana, and he joins me via Skype from that country. Mr. Naji, thank you very much for joining us on the program. First of all,
thank you, my brother.
This report about the $1 million, is it $1 million now in equity and 31,500 cedis now? Could you just throw more light on it? Is it true that the Ghanaian authorities are asking Nigerian traders to meet this requirement?
Yes, that is true. That is the problem we're having with them. And the reason is being a problem is that for so many years we have been here. We have registered our business with CSC, call it Ghana
Investment
Registrar here. Mm-hmm. No, this is just for business registration in Ghana. We have been allowed to register our businesses and give us certificate of incorporation and certificate of commerce. And that will take you 0.5% of $1 million now, which is around 30-something thousand, depending on dollar rate, because it's $5,000. Then, after registration on that, with all the payment we made to the taxes, then they now start pushing us to register with the GIPC. This GIPC, severally the ministers will say that, of course, that conflict with ECOWAS law, and they have said that ECOWAS are not targeted or will not be affected with that GIPC. But all of a sudden, they started asking for that, and that you have to provide $1 million cash or equity, and that must be physical because you have to have the evidence in bank or in the goods in warehouse. And then you have to register with the GIPC with the same $5,000, making it a total of $10,000 in all before processing fee. This money must pay in the account of the government, $10,000.
And GIPC, by the way, is the Ghana Investment Promotion Council. Now, let me ask you, is it just Nigerian businesses that are asked, that are being asked to meet this requirement?
No, it's a foreign policy, foreign trade policy they have. So they say every foreigner should do that. But we are the people in majority because some of us register with, hope that ECOWAS right of residence and establishment cover us to do that. But they are saying that they don't care about ECOWAS, whatever protocol.
So what exactly are the authorities doing to Nigerian businesses? Because we saw videos now on social media of some Nigerian shops that were being locked up. Is that still the case?
They are closing it. They are just behaving as the era of when the military, just forcefully. You have no human face. You have no human regard. You can see police even slapping people, even pushing people, dragging people. Anyhow, like as if there's a war going on. As if they are looking for criminals. But these are business owners. These men have paid their taxes and have evidence of that pasted in their business premises. But still, they don't really care.
And have you reported to the Nigerian High Commission there, and what has the High Commission done?
Yes, we have done. High Commissioner is doing whatever is in their own capacity. They have written letters. They have called institutions. They are doing everything. In fact, as we speak now, is not I think the High Commissioner have been, the Child Affairs have been recalled for explanation. So they have done everything they're supposed to do all the consultation, but it is election year and they're just using us for politics.
So you think this is all about politics?
Yes, of course. Because there's the free Africa trade that just hand over on Monday. So, and the policies, just because they promised they're going to close our shops, then now 4 months to the time, they're now closing it. So I think it's politics, and that is not good.
How many Nigerian businesses, in your estimation, do you think can meet this demand, this requirement now?
As it stands now, anybody who can meet it, I'm sure would prefer to be in Nigeria. Because if you're having 400 million naira, where are you taking it to? You know, you should be at home. I'm not sure anybody is interested to meet it.
And what is your union now doing in terms of engaging with the Ghanaian government?
Yes, they say we should bring our documents so that they can look at whichever one we have made, meet up with. So whether it's truth or anything, we have sent the documentations. Let them check. If anything they say, we now hear it. But the major thing that caused this lockup of the shops are GIPC registration.
And of course, the shops that have been locked up are still locked up. They still remain locked up, right?
That's correct. That's correct. Those shops have been locked up since Thursday last week, and they're still locked up.
Why do you
and
think?
Don't forget.
Go on.
Don't forget, those shops were locked for 8 months. They just opened it last July. Those areas were locked for 8 good months by the local traders. And every effort we made, the government just backed them, and that shop was locked for 8 good months.
I'm talking about the local traders because I know, of course, you had problems with the local traders. What exactly is the issue you have with these local traders? The local
just
traders,
the political
the
local traders. We don't have any problem with them because it's only some of the local traders that's also buying from us. In all this hilo balo of selling retail, selling wholesales, it's just things they use to get to us. Because I can tell you that we have a good rapport with a lot of traders here. As we speak, the reason I'm here because I'm in the warehouse supplying goods to a Ghanaian marketer who sells my wares. And that is how it is. A lot of them are our friends. But the problem is that there are some that are just difficult. And they are now using that opportunity, that loophole in the government sector to just deal with us. So
the previous government in Ghana before this very one, we didn't have much of a problem like this. Do you think the current government is basically after Nigerians?
No. It's not. I don't want to believe that. Because, you see, this started in 2007. Yes, it was the same NPP that were in power then. But when it comes to 2012 and 13, the government of the day started locking our shops again. My shop was locked for 3 months before it was open. And it was open in name of Ghanaians. We couldn't open it as a Nigerian trader. So it's not a matter of the government in power now. The Ghanaians have been, it was during the time of the other government that they even raised it in 2013, raised the minimum amount to 1 million. It used to be $300,000, but they raised it to 1 million through the last administration. So I don't want to believe.
And why didn't you people complain back then?
We do complain. We have come to riot in Abuja. We have protested in Abuja before. We have gone to ECOWAS commission. And what happened is that, just like I told you, when there's election, it will get a point. I can send you, a speech from the foreign ministers that have said, ECOWAS nationals will not be affected. Even ECOWAS have sent delegation here. We have met with them here. And they made it clear that ECOWAS nationals will not be, citizens will not be affected by the whole thing. But when you keep on going back and forth. So that is the problem we're having. And they only will not tell they did not meet the requirement. Which requirement? $400 million naira. If I have it, what I am doing in Ghana? So that is the problem. The government shouldn't keep quiet, and the people should start talking about it. If the ECOWAS thing, because if ECOWAS did not do anything, I think I should be campaigning that Nigeria should pull out of ECOWAS. Doesn't make sense staying there. Because there's too much abuse of laws and rules here.
All right. Mr. Chukwuemeka Naji, the president of Nigerian Traders Union in Ghana now. Thank you very much for joining us on the program, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nigerians. And my greeting to our president. Should hear our cry and respond very quickly.
I want to believe something would be done. We'll take a short break now, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, and if you've just joined us, you're watching Analysis, and we're talking about the situation of Nigerian traders in Ghana. I'm now being joined on the program by Achike Chude, who is an African Affairs analyst. Achike, thank you very much for joining us on the program. What do you make of this situation of Nigerian traders in Ghana? It's actually not the first time anyway.
No, it is not the first time, but unfortunately this particular situation has lingered for quite some time. Of course, it arises from the closure of the country's border with some of our neighboring sister countries, and that has obviously imposed a lot of hardship on some of these countries, and they have not been happy for quite some time. We understand that there have been all kinds of discussions in the past between the Nigerian authority and these other governments. But Nigeria has given certain conditions that she feels are not being met, and has insisted that these borders will remain closed until these conditions are met.
So you think this is just a reaction by the Ghanaian government now over the continued closure of the borders?
No, it is not so much a reaction by the Ghanaian government. I think what is even strange about this, to some extent, is the fact that it is the Ghanaian Traders Union Association that is taking on this matter. You would expect, because the closure of the border was undertaken by the Nigerian government, and so you would expect that if there has to be a reaction, that reaction itself has to be from the Ghanaian government. And like I said, there have been some back and forth between both governments, but obviously the traders in Ghana believe that their government has not done enough to protect their interests.
That is a different. What is actually happening now is that the Ghanaian government is asking Nigerian businesses to not just Nigerian businesses anyway. We understand businesses of foreigners, so to speak, even when they are ECOWAS.
Yes.
These foreigners are from ECOWAS region, asking them to register their businesses. With the sum of, is it $1 million?
Yeah,
they should have equity funding for $1 million, and then 31,500 CDs as well.
Yeah, this is a fallout. This is a fallout of the ongoing battle between the Ghanaian traders, really, and then their Nigerian counterparts. And I think that the government has found itself on the back foot. Of course, being accused of being weak in terms of protecting the interests of Ghanaian traders. So I think this is a little bit of a muzzle flexing by the Ghanaian government, which is used really to put pressure on the Nigerian government, so that the Nigerian government will now be forced to try to protect the interests of its citizens, Nigerian traders in Ghana, and then they now come to the negotiating table and then they discuss. The fees or the fines that are being imposed on Nigerian traders are not in any way final. The fees being imposed by the Ghanaian government authority on Nigerian trader is not at all final. I think, like I said, it is just about putting pressure. If you remember the crisis again that degenerated between the Nigerian embassy, between the Nigerian government and the American government, with regards to the imposition of various fees, for visa and all that, you see that it follows the same pattern. But sometimes you impose these things to bring the other side to the negotiating table, so that common grounds can be found.
The problem is, if we're having this kind of situation, then how do we hope and expect that the recently signed initiative, that's the Africa, the Continental Free Trade Area, that's the Africa Continental Free Trade Area now after, how do we hope that will work? And by the way, AFTA's secretariat is actually based in Ghana. So if you have this kind of situation, how then can we have free trade on the continent?
Well, solutions arise as a result of problems that as a result of problems. And it is important to stress the fact that even when there are agreements between countries, not just between individuals, but between countries, international agreements, there are sometimes people having different interpretations of disagreements, and this usually lead to all kinds of problems that have to be resolved at other levels. You're talking about, if we talk about the European Union and some of these other international organizations, once in a while you have this brickbat between countries belonging to the same union as a result of a misunderstanding or misinterpretation of maybe texts, of agreements that have been willingly entered into by some of these countries. So these things happen, and that's why there is always a resolution mechanism for such moments that, problems emanate from in this. So I do not really think that it's simply because we are having a problem between Nigeria and Ghana, who are allies, trading allies, that when we bring in the African Trade Agreement into play, then naturally it is going to lead to all kinds of problems too. I think, when these problems get to a particular level and both governments become embarrassed by the degree of the problem that have now become intractable, then there's a greater proportion, a greater compulsion for them to want to, sit back and resolve some of the gray areas. And I think I see this happening, whether with the present situation between Nigeria and Ghana, or between, countries that are involved in the Africa Free Trade Agreement.
But it's definitely not a good time for Nigerians who are doing business in Ghana.
No, it is not. It is not.
Yeah,
and
some
I
of
can
them
tell
have had
you,
their shops locked up now
yes,
for some months.
It is not. And I can tell you that in a way, maybe to some extent, we can say that perhaps the Nigerian government has been complacent. Look, the Ghanaian traders have also been patient for quite some time, hoping that this matter was going to be resolved, sooner than later. But obviously, it has dragged on for too long, and they are also holding their government responsible. The Nigerian government also has a duty to look for ways to protect the interests of Nigerian traders in Ghana. I hope that they are up and doing when it comes to doing just that, because that is their duty, that's their responsibility.
All right, Achikechide, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll be discussing something else. Stay with us. Welcome back. Opposition lawmakers in the National Assembly have refused to let the dust settle over the 774,000 special works programs of the federal government. The People's Democratic Party faction of the House of Representatives are demanding more slots to be given to them. Minority Leader Ndudu Elumelu rejected the 30 slots already allotted to each member of the House per local government, saying the sharing process is unfair and unacceptable. You'll recall that this exercise had earlier pitted the lawmakers against the Ministry of Labour, with the Labour Minister for State, Festus Keyamo, accusing the legislators of wanting to hijack the program. The lawmakers had gone ahead to suspend the recruitment exercise, but the Labour Ministry, with the backing of the President, made sure it continued nonetheless. Joining me now to speak more on this is Nelson Ekojimi, who is a political affairs analyst. Nelson, thank you very much for joining us on the program. So,
Thank you very
we're still
much
not done with this 774,000 jobs. I mean, the lawmakers are now complaining. Obviously, the Minister of State made it clear before that they had been given 15% slot. And that 15% slot, now we're beginning to understand, is 30 slots per lawmaker. And they're complaining that it's not enough for them.
Well, thank you very much. The truth of the matter is that the opposition, the attempt to discredit the 774,000 jobs per 774 local governments in the Federal Republic of Nigeria is all but an attempt by the lawmakers to have their way against, transparency and accountability. The war cry from the lawmakers was not because they were more interested, in the success of the program, but rather because they wanted to hijack it, and they have faced stiff opposition, not only from Mr. President and the Minister of State for Labour, but also from well-meaning Nigerians and groups. And you can see clearly, instead of the lawmakers to focus on their primary responsibility of lawmaking and oversight function, they want to usurp the constitutional functions of the executive with regards to implementation
of government policies. And for us, this is unacceptable. This is undemocratic. It is illegal. Even the 15% that has been allotted to them, I wonder how they were able to twist the executive, to let go of 15%, because ordinarily, one would expect the lawmakers to be more concerned about how the recruitment process is conducted and to scrutinize and make sure that every person recruited or enlisted from each local government actually comes from that local government. But you can see that it is not about the success, it is not about the viability of the program. Rather, it is about what they can get for themselves. And that is why they have continued to maintain hostility to a program that is already done and dusted.
Their argument is that they are more representative, that they are the ones who represent these people, and that if you're looking for people who have direct connection to the people and people who can relate better with the people, that they are the ones, because they represent various constituencies across this country. And so giving each lawmaker 30 slots, according to them, is just too small, because 30 out of 1,000 for them is just abysmal.
Okay, the question you should ask is that the slot that they are asking for, how will those ones be recruited? Will it be based on their whims and caprices, or they will submit it to a transparent process? The answer is no. These lawmakers, these job hijackers that we have called lawmakers, are only looking for a way to massage their own ego, to give job to the boys. The Federal Ministry of Labor has designed this program in such a way that critical stakeholders of the Nigerian society have been made part and parcel of the recruitment process.
But the lawmakers are saying they represent that critical stakeholders of the Nigerian society.
The representation of the critical stakeholders in society is for them to oversee and ensure that the recruited members of this project, the workers, the 774,000 workers, come from these 774 local governments. Because if they say they are representing the people, we are asking the people that will be recruited, will they be recruited from the moon? Are they not going to be Nigerians? Will they not be recruited from within the local governments that they claim they are represented? This program should be done in such a way that there's a level playing field for everybody. What the lawmakers are trying to do is to curry political favor from certain segments of the society, and it should not be allowed, to hold sway. It should be a process that everybody that believes he or she is qualified should submit himself, and if you are lucky enough to be recruited, so be it, because we all know that even the 774,000 workers that are going to be recruited, they cannot represent the totality of the number of unemployed people within the society. So this Absolutely. Is just a segment that the executive is trying to ensure they have their own share of, the dividend of democracy in terms of the palliatives of aftermath of the COVID-19, or in the throes of COVID-19. But you can see that the opposition of the legislator is all about give us more slot. Give you which slot? What are you going to do with this slot? You want to give it to your own boys, or you just you conduct a ballot to get these persons recruited? The answer is virtually no. It is all about the personal interest of these legislators. Their claim to represent the people only exists in theory and not in practice, because as we speak till date, they have refused to submit their emolument to the Nigerian people that they claim to represent, but who are economically traumatized. So you ask me, in what way have they shown themselves as genuine representatives of the people? Rather, they are only representing themselves in reality, but the people in theory.
All right, Nelson Akujimi, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's it on the program. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.